You're good. That airship still
Slow
up?
chase.
The airship, CHP?
Oh, shit.
Do you see him, Brian? I haven't seen him in a minute, and I don't see a night sun.
Sorry about that. There's some echo there. Got it going on the TV.
Cool.
Thanks. Appreciate that there, Skycat.
And once again, Fontana PD with CHP in tow. They are monitoring this pursuit as Fontana applies pressure on a stolen Toyota Tacoma out of the city of Fontana, northbound on the 405 freeway, just north of Sherman Way, approaching Roscoe Boulevard now at about 50 miles per hour, speeding up ever so slightly as they continue up through the San Fernando Valley. Going to be faced with some more decisions here. This carjacker is, as he comes up on the 118 freeway eventually, and the 5 split off the nose here. So he's got some choices. I have a feeling he's going to continue straight up the Newhall Pass, but we will see if that's what he does. You can see him still holding on to the 2 and 3 lanes. Number 2 and number 3 is Fontana PD right there behind him, with a pretty good traffic break in place. Only a couple other cars out there in front of them. California Highway Patrol is, again, monitoring this pursuit, ready to get involved if they were put in a position or asked to join this pursuit. Right now, though, Fontana PD still the lead agency here as we cruise up the 405 freeway for an extended joyride by this carjacker. There it is, California Highway Patrol with their airship up above, helping out with the
See what this guy does. It's been going now for a minute. Between 35. 40, I don't know. Maybe even slower. But he's been going for a while. I was debating whether to even jump on. Yeah, he's been going for like 21 minutes already. Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
up the 405. All right, picking up a little more gas here at about 35 miles per hour. Again, the driver of this stolen pickup is said to be potentially armed, and that appears to be playing a major role in the tactics here by Fontana PD. Now, they have tried a couple of spikes, but we have seen plenty of opportunity for a pit maneuver without them taking it, and that is certainly indicative of the belief that there may be a gun inside that vehicle.
See what this guy does. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?
Once again, the driver now committing to the 5 freeway, northbound 5 freeway at the split, continuing up through the New Hall Pass, it looks like, as he approaches Sylmar here over the next several exits, and then into the Santa Clarita Valley. It looks like we're going tonight. You can see Fontana PD continuing this joyride straight up the 5 without hesitation here. They do have the luxury of California Highway Patrol monitoring this pursuit, helping out where they can with occasional traffic breaks throughout this pursuit, on and off. Also, they have their airship overhead, who has been of great help at calling out the chase from above. And so a team effort here as they continue to follow this carjacker up the 5 freeway with the hopes of bringing him into custody peacefully at the end of this pursuit. Now, again, it's worth noting we haven't seen anything too crazy behind the wheel here. They've followed at a pretty safe distance, for quite a distance, from Fontana all the way up into the northern edge of the San Fernando Valley. But the driving has been composed, no extreme speeds. In fact, mostly below the speed limit, and not a lot of lane shifting. So we will see if that continues. Of course, it could all change on a dime depending on the state of that driver, but for the most part, he or she appears to be driving at a relatively safe clip.
Clip is right. It's only gonna be a minute. They're gonna clip that ass. Gonna do. Gonna do. They're gonna do when they come. For you. I don't know what this dude's gonna do. I have a feeling he ordered some DoorDash and they're trying to get it figured out. The logistics, you know. I haven't seen speeds like this since maybe never. I just saw a rat run past. I mean, this is crazy. Holy shit.
Right, committing to the 5 freeway. Committing to the 5 freeway, had the opportunity to get on the 14 freeway, but the suspect now committing to the northbound 5 freeway. So we will see just how far up through the Santa Clarita Valley this goes. But for the most part, we are pretty much just kind of following along with Fontana PD here, as is the California Highway Patrol. They are ready to help out if needed. They have not gotten the request yet to take over this pursuit. Fontana PD very comfortable taking this up through Santa Clarita so far, so that's the way it's going to be. They have the assistance of CHP's helicopter, so they have a good visual from above, but right now those ground units standing back and standing by waiting for the request from Fontana PD. So still only going about 35 miles per hour. Really haven't seen the behavior of this driver change much at all. The vehicle is intact and the speeds are consistent with a prolonged joyride that is probably going to end with this vehicle running out of gas at some point. That is just a guess, but an educated guess, if you will. Once again, if you're just joining us live on abc7.com and our 24/7 streaming channels, welcome if you're on YouTube or Facebook. Chris Christie up in Air 7 HD over a police pursuit here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Fontana police chasing this wanted carjacking suspect out of the San Bernardino area and through LA County, through downtown LA, up through Hollywood, into the San Fernando Valley, and now into Santa Clarita, where they are continuing this chase with the help of the California Highway Patrol. The driver behind the wheel, fairly composed but believed to be armed, and so we have seen them treat this vehicle and this driver with kid glove care as they continue to keep the public at bay, forming a solid traffic break northbound along the 5 freeway now at speeds between 30 and 40 miles per hour. A relatively tame pursuit, but that could all change very quickly if that suspect is spooked or agitated or under the influence. We don't know how this is going to end, but he has had plenty of time to exhaust a lot of fuel from that gas tank, and hopefully it's as simple as potentially just slowing down to a crawl if he does run out of gas. But of course, for all we know, he could have a full tank, and we just don't have that information. But of course, Fontana PD has plenty of units right behind him, able to keep up, following at a safe distance. The California Highway Patrol with additional resources if needed. There have been several spike strip attempts, but so far this vehicle remains intact. It is a stolen Toyota Tacoma. The driver believed to be alone inside this vehicle. A strong potential. That would be California Highway Patrol setting up ahead of the suspect and potentially ready to lay out some spikes. So we'll see if that happens here in the next 60 seconds or so. The suspect, though, traveling at such a slow speed that he, even if he hits it, it's doubtful he will, because he just is so easily, most likely, will so easily be able to swerve to the left and just drive around it. At these speeds, it's almost difficult to execute a good spike because it's just so easy for him to evade. You have a good opportunity in the sense that the freeway's wide open, but it's just as easy to drive around it unless you're able to really stretch it out, and we'll see if they can deploy that spike strip here as the suspect, there it is! There it is! There's the spike, and that may very well have been effective. We will see. He didn't see it coming, and I didn't see it coming. I thought it was going to come from the right, and instead there was an officer, a CHP officer, in position on the driver's left-hand side, threw it right out.
Sure. Yep.
And we will see them put the lights on those wheels. Slowing him down. He's slowing down. We'll see if those tires are impacted. Let's push all the way in there, Brian, and we'll get a better glimpse as it looks like the vehicle is behaving normally still. The wheels and the tires appear intact, but keep in mind it takes a little bit of time usually for those tires to slowly deflate but I don't see any impact on this vehicle so far.
That back passenger side's going to start smoke show.
He definitely ran over the spike strip. The issue becomes, were there spikes injected into those tires? Or was he somehow able to roll over that spike strip without damaging the vehicle? It certainly appears as though this vehicle is traveling nominally. The wheels are behaving just fine at this point. He doesn't appear to be having any kind of a steering issue, but he definitely made contact with a perfectly executed spike strip attempt there. That would be at least number 3 that we have seen, but he wasn't able to swerve around this one. It was tossed out at the last second. And we continue. The chase continues at about 50 miles per hour, northbound 5 freeway here in Valencia. Another spike strip attempt there, and we'll see if that has an effect. He ran right over his second spike in as many minutes, and this one hopefully will do the trick here. We will see. So far, this Toyota Tacoma has proven to be very durable, and again, just judging from the driver's side of the vehicle, the tires at this point appear to be slowly deflating, or at least that front left tire. That driver's side front tire is running low, and this will likely force him to slow down. Now at about 30 miles per hour, there goes that front left tire, now down to a crawl as the vehicle comes to a complete stop on the number 3 lane there. Here comes the driver's hands, or at least one hand, apparent out the window. Let's see if he complies here. Fontana PD instructing the driver out of the vehicle, hands out the window, the door popped open, the driver stepping out of the vehicle, and he is now complying with these officers, the K-9 ready to go if needed. But you can see him now, hands spread, legs spread, and he is now slowly following those commands, hands behind the head, and they will take this suspect into custody in the next few seconds. But it does look like the vehicle was disabled by that spike strip. If the first one didn't do it, the second one surely did. A very effective spike, finally bringing this pursuit to an end. The pickup truck coming to a stop on the northbound 5 freeway at Magic Mountain Parkway. The driver now about to be taken into custody. This is a wanted carjacker who was believed to be armed. We don't know whether the vehicle, or whether the weapon is still in the vehicle, whether he is armed still, or what the deal is. He is now turning. Oh! They deployed the dog. He turned around, took his hands down. The dog has been let go on the suspect, and now this has come to a, wow, they have tackled him to the ground. A number of officers, after he turned around, not sure if there was a language barrier there or what, but for some reason, he took his hands down, turned around, the dog was deployed.
Scully, you see
and now they're going to have to call for an ambulance because the suspect was clearly taken down by the dog, tackled to the ground by those officers, and something went sideways there. We will see the disposition of that suspect once they bring him up here.
Holy.
But boy, oh boy, you didn't really see that coming. He certainly appeared to be obeying the commands. They've given the code 4. The vehicle is clear. Suspect on the ground. And at some point, I don't know if you're able to, Brian, I'd love to see a replay. I don't know if you can, but if you can, we'll replay it and see what happened there that provoked that K-9 officer to deploy the dog on that suspect. Show me the suspect real quick if you can. Yep. Is he still on the ground there? I can't tell. Yeah, he's up against the car. Okay. Suspect now up on 2 feet. The truck's rolling away. The truck is now rolling away. There must be an officer behind the wheel there. Okay. They're pulling the truck off the road. I did not see the officer get in there, but the truck just started rolling down there, and he's now pulling over to get off the freeway here. But still, the northbound side of the 5 freeway remains shut down as they attend to that suspect. And they will likely have to call for an ambulance here after that K-9 dog was let loose on that carjacking suspect. Well, they're now going to do their best to take all of this off the freeway, the vehicle and the suspect. Likely an ambulance waiting at the exit, but they're going to do what they can, I guess, to reopen the freeway. No really good reason to keep the freeway shut down, but it does look like they're going to get off the freeway here, and we'll see just how injured that suspect might be. In just a second here. We're also going to try and get a replay of this odd ending as that suspect, who was clearly attempting to comply, took his hand off his head and turned around for a split second, provoking Fontana PD to let the fur missile loose on that suspect.
The fur missile. Get that. Come on, man.
Sure.
The fur missile.
All right, one more time. Rewind it, if you can. Let's go ahead and rewind it just a second there. So he's got his hands up here. He turns around. That is not what they want to see there. He turns around, and that's when they let the dog loose. He takes his hands off his head like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? He must have been trying to communicate. Hands in the air, though. Hands in the air. And they just let the dog loose on his leg, eventually bringing the suspect down. This one will be up for review for sure. It is an odd thing to see the dog let loose on a suspect with his hands up in the air like that. Certainly appeared as though he was trying to comply. But yeah, that is, boy, that's going to be a questionable one for those supervisors. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you, sir.
Officers now pulling into a parking lot as, again, I assume they will wait for an ambulance here. The suspect's vehicle now pulled off of the freeway. The 5 freeway now reopened at Magic Mountain Parkway. And that will do it for our coverage here in Air 7 HD. For our entire team up here in Air 7, I'm Chris Christie, reporting live from Air 7 here in Santa Clarita. We will see you at 11 o'clock.
All right, guys. Thanks. Thank you for swinging by. And see you on the next one.